Good evening and welcome. Um, my name is Ashwini Rao, and I currently serve as the board vice president for the Willie Street Co-op. Typically, this meeting is conducted by Sarah Larson, the board president, but as she's traveling, she's unable to make this meeting. So hence, I'm here in her place. I believe it is 6 p.m., and we have owners still joining us. So give us a few minutes till we establish quorum. But in the meantime, there are a couple of announcements and reminders that I would like to share with you. Um, we have a timekeeper. Brendan Smith has volunteered to be our timekeeper. Thank you, Brendan. Attendees cannot be seen or heard for your privacy and to preserve the quality of the audio presentation for everyone present. There may be a delay as we switch between presenters, so thank you for your patience. We asked for any questions to be submitted by October 1st. We received one question, and we will answer that later in the meeting. To be eligible for a prize, you must stay for the duration of this meeting. This meeting is for Willie Street Co-op owners only. If you're a non-owner, you may not vote on the minutes or receive a gift card. This meeting is being recorded. I'm going to continue to move. We will start with our Native American land acknowledgement. I would like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the traditional, ancestral, and contemporary land of Indigenous people. We gather on land that was cared for and called home by the Peoria, Sauk, Meskwaki, Ho-Chunk, and Sioux Nations people, and other Native peoples from time immemorial. Our next order of business is to vote on a couple of items. If you haven't already, now is a good time to review the 2023 and 2024 minutes. We will vote to approve them later on in this meeting. But first, we will approve this year's agenda if we have quorum. I believe we have quorum. So I would like to, can somebody give me a motion to approve the agenda, please? A second? You should be able to see a poll on the bottom right of your screen. Please vote yay or nay. And while we are voting, I just wanted to take a few minutes to share a short welcome and introduce you to our board members. So once again, welcome to Willie Street Co-op's annual meeting. It's wonderful to see so many of our member owners, staff, and community partners here tonight. Since my move to Madison 25 years ago, I'm constantly reminded that this co-op has always been more than a grocery store. It's a shared commitment, a living example of how collective ownership can shape not just how we shop, but how we care for each other, our neighborhoods, and our planet. Before I go further, I just want to take a moment to thank our incredible staff, the heart of this co-op. Your daily work keeps our values alive in every interaction, every product on the shelf, and every decision made with care for our community and environment. Thank you also to our general manager, Anya, the board of directors, and to you, our member owners, for your thoughtful input, passion, and participation. Your engagement is what makes the co-op strong. This past year has been a testament to our resilience and purpose. We continue to strengthen our financial stability while staying true to our mission, supporting local farmers, prioritizing fair wages, and keeping healthy, sustainable food accessible to all. We've expanded partnerships with local producers, deepened our commitment to food equity, and launched new community initiatives through the Community Reinvestment Fund. These projects help local organizations that share our values, creating ripple effects of good across the region. Our sustainability work has also continued to grow, from reducing waste and improving energy efficiency to sourcing more responsibly produced goods. We are demonstrating that environmental stewardship is not just possible, it is essential to who we are. What truly defines our success isn't just numbers, it's the connections we nurture. We see this every time a member owner shares feedback that shapes our decisions. We see it in our partnerships with local nonprofits and in our continued efforts to make healthy food accessible through programs like Double Dollars. And of course, we see it in the way our stores have become gathering places, spaces that reflect the diversity, creativity, and compassion of the communities we serve. With that, I would like to now propose that we vote on approving the 2024 minutes, please. So can we have a motion to approve? And a second? Awesome. With that, you will again see a poll on the bottom right corner. Please either vote yay or nay. We also have a poll coming up after 2 minutes or so for the 2023 minutes. And for that, again, I would also need a motion to approve. And a second. Thank you. And so once the 2024 poll goes away, you will see a poll for the 2023 minutes. My apologies if it seems a little confusing, but we didn't meet quorum last year, and so we weren't able to approve these minutes at that time. So now I will move on to the introduction of board members. We have Tatiana Dennis. She's also on the Community Reinvestment Fund. We have Gigi Godwin, who's the board treasurer and is also on the policy committee. We have Sarah Larson, who's on the board, who's the board president and is on the finance committee. We have Isabel Spooner Harvey, who's on the policy committee and the Community Reinvestment Fund. We have Anthony Hernandez, who's on the DEI committee and Community Reinvestment Fund. We have Deb Shapiro, who's on the board development committee, Dan Strait, who's on the policy committee, Ike Ross, who's on the finance committee and the board development committee, and finally myself, Ashwini. I'm the board vice president, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm also on the finance committee. At this point, I would like to welcome Anya to the podium to present the year in review.
Thank you, Ashwini. Hello and welcome to this year's annual business meeting. Thank you all for joining us and helping us achieve quorum. I want to highlight some of the co-op's achievements over the past fiscal year, including a significant milestone as we celebrated our 50th anniversary. For half a century, our staff, vendors, community partners, and you, our owners, have been the reason we have remained open for business. Thank you all for your support over the years. Our operation has been fairly routine over the last 50 years. Staff have shown up to work, opened the doors, purchased and stocked products, bagged groceries, served our owners and customers, and responded to comments, emails, and calls. However, there is nothing routine about the work they do. No 2 days have ever been the same. Staff perform their routine tasks while navigating a variety of challenges, including delivery schedule issues, out-of-stock items, employee absences, weather conditions, power outages, and equipment malfunctions. Nicely done. At the end of last fiscal year, we employed 370 people. Of those 370, a little over 300 were hourly employees and members of the bargaining unit who were represented by the union, the United Electrical, Radio, and Machine Workers of America, or the UE. The remaining 60 employees are salaried, non-bargaining unit employees. As a reminder, we have been in partnership with the UE since 2020, and in March 2024, we successfully negotiated our third contract. The current 3-year contract offered additional benefits and wages for our hourly employees while being mindful of our fiscal responsibility to our owners and the co-op's long-term success. From my perspective, one of the most important relationships we have is the partnership we have developed with the UE. I look forward to our continued efforts to make the co-op a stronger and better place to work. I want to extend my thanks and appreciation to all our staff for their dedication and commitment to the co-op. They are vital to our continued success. Thank you. Last fiscal year, our actions continued to support our values, which is to source local products and ingredients when possible. The co-op currently offers 527 local brands at our stores, which is about 1/3 of our total annual sales. In addition to promoting local products and vendors, we promoted fair trade products by educating people about their benefits. The fair trade food system helps preserve and support healthy farming communities globally, not just locally. We also promoted our inclusive trade program, which focuses on products sourced from companies owned and operated by individuals from underrepresented groups. These groups include women, Black, Indigenous, and/or persons of color, LGBTQIA plus people, veterans, and persons with disabilities. I am proud of our efforts to develop a diverse pool of vendors that aligns with our mission, vision, and values. Our 34,150 owners played a vital role in making the co-op's year a success. You purchased a lot of groceries, supported equity initiatives, attended classes, and supported various programs like the Double Dollar programs that is funded by our reusable bag initiative, food donations for our food pantry partners, and the Pantries of Plenty community fund drive. Additionally, our shoppers supported Community Shares of Wisconsin's CHIP program with $355,730 in donations collected at the register. Community Shares supports over 70 local nonprofits that focus on environmental and social justice in our community. Our Access program is available to qualified individuals, which offers a reduced ownership equity investment structure along with discounts on purchases. At our Willie North location, we continue to offer WIC, which is a program providing access to nutritional foods for women, infants, and children, and we accept SNAP benefits at all 3 stores. Our Community Reinvestment Fund, which is funded by Abandoned Equity, awarded a total of $85,000 in grants to community organizations last year. Of this amount, $20,000 was granted to 3 recipients as part of our new program, Rooted in Our Community. This fund is designated for larger capital purchases and investments that support our local, sustainable food system. Since the inception of the Community Reinvestment Fund program in 1992, the co-op has given nearly $600,000 back to the community. Last year, the co-op updated our boycott policy to better serve all of our owners. This change empowers our owners to make decisions regarding products that we sell rather than placing the responsibility solely in management's hands. This is just one more example of how co-ops differ from other businesses by offering owners greater opportunities to provide input on the products we carry and the services we offer. Store hours were standardized at Willie North and Willie West to be the same as Willie East, which is to open at 7:30 a.m. This change allowed us to offer breakfast at all 3 locations. Have you tried our new breakfast empanadas? They are delicious. At Willie West, we completed our solar panel installation project in partnership with Legacy Solar Co-op and Full Spectrum Solar. Our new solar array has generated more than 60,000 kilowatt hours this summer. This represents a savings of approximately $7,000 on our energy bill, not to mention over 100,000 pounds or 50 tons of carbon dioxide avoided using clean energy from the sun. I'd like to take a moment to reflect on our 50th anniversary. We owe a great deal to our founding owners who laid the groundwork for what we are today. If they had not taken control over how and where our food was grown and produced, we might not exist as we do now. Some highlights from our 50th celebration include the board hosted a reception last fall, and it was a wonderful opportunity to reconnect with familiar faces and meet some of the co-op's founding owners and staff. After our business meeting last year, we had the pleasure of hearing from 3 founding owners who shared their stories about the early years of Willie Street Co-op and highlighted the importance of the cooperative business model. As part of our anniversary celebration, we decided to install a new mural at our East store. The design chosen by owners was submitted by muralist Sylvia Annalise Hecht and is titled Rooted in Our Community. And finally, in celebration of our 50th, we partnered with local businesses where co-op owners could receive a free item or a discount on a purchase just for being an owner. We called this year-long program Community Perks. Thank you to those participating businesses for helping us celebrate. In the world of grocery cooperatives, our co-op is considered one of the country's largest consumer grocery co-ops. We have 3 retail stores, a production kitchen, a centralized administrative office, and our East Community Space aubergine. Here's to you for making us what we are today, and here's to another 50 years. Before I finish, one final note. I want to extend my gratitude and appreciation to the Board of Directors for their guidance and support throughout the past year. Their thoughtful work reviewing and revising our governance policies to reflect a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive place to work and shop is exemplary, and so is their dedication to serve in the capacity they do. Thank you. And now I want to welcome Paige Wickline, Director of Finance, who will provide the fiscal 25 financial update. Paige.
Thank you, Anya. Is this our slide that's up? Okay, thanks. Fiscal year 2025 ended with Willie Street Co-op in a strong financial position. Our co-op has a history of being financially sound, which has allowed us to grow into the vibrant business we are today. Our financial sustainability ensures our long-term viability and allows us to withstand challenges and continue to focus on our mission, which is to cultivate and empower community, customers, employees, and suppliers through cooperative principles and practices. We ended the year with just under $4 million in cash and a strong liquidity position where our current assets are greater than our current liabilities. This is a reflection of our ability to pay off our short-term debts and meet our financial obligations. Our cash is used to cover our weekly outflows, which vary from a low of $1 million in a slow week to over $2 million for a week that includes our employee payroll. We also use some of our cash to invest in equipment and refrigeration upgrades at Willie East that occurred at the end of August this year. Next slide. One item we no longer have on our books is owner bonds. The last time we issued owner bonds was in 2018 to pay for the expansion at Willie West. The bonds issued for that project totaled $674,500. At the beginning of the fiscal year, the only bonds remaining on our books were the Willie West 7-year bonds in the amount of $295,000. These matured and were paid out in January of 2025. Thank you again to our owners for your financial support for this and past expansions. Next slide. For the fiscal year that ended on June 29th, 2025, sales were just shy of $70 million, coming in at $69.6 million. This was an increase of $4.7 million and 7.3% growth over our sales in fiscal year 2024. Willie North had the largest sales growth at 8.6%, with Willie West coming in at 7.5% and Willie East at 6.2% growth. 1/3 of the items we sell are from local vendors and producers and farmers. The remaining items are sourced from regional and national distributors. Next slide. Our gross sales profit or margin dollars are the funds remaining after we pay our vendors for the cost of the products we sell. After paying for the cost of items we sold, we had $25.5 million remaining. Our margin as a percent of sales has remained stable. Maintaining a stable margin percent has been an operational challenge for many co-ops, but we have a strong operational infrastructure to ensure we maintain our margin. The price increases you've noticed when buying groceries have been due to increases in the wholesale costs we pay our vendors. While inflation has continued to slow down over the past year, there have been other pressures on costs, including labor shortages due to immigration changes under the current administration, along with increased costs from tariffs and the ongoing impact of avian flu on the cost of eggs and poultry. With our focus on local, the impact of these factors has been less for us than on large national grocery chains. Next slide. Of the $25.5 million in gross profit, $17.7 million was spent on wages and benefits for staff, and $7.6 million was spent on operating expenses. Operating expenses include costs we incur to run our co-op, such as rent, utilities, repairs, and maintenance. After paying for wages and operating costs, our income left over from operations came in at $230,750, or 0.34% of sales. Next slide. We also have other income and expenses that are not directly related to selling groceries. Other income includes interest on deposits we have at financial institutions, patronage dividends we receive from other co-ops that we belong to, along with sales commissions for third-party sales from our sushi vendor. Other expenses include interest on the bonds our owners have purchased to support past expansions, and the loan we have at Summit Credit Union that is secured by real estate. We own the building at Willie East, and it is used as collateral, which allows us to obtain a lower interest rate on loans when we need to borrow funds for expanding our business. After adding other income and deducting other expenses, we had a net positive of other income in the amount of $348,973. Our net income before provision for income taxes was $579,723, or 0.84% of sales. Next slide. Our profit share policy allows profits to be shared with staff on a quarterly basis when our net income for the quarter is greater than 1% of sales, and profit share is recommended by management and approved by our board of directors. The only quarter in fiscal year 25 that met all the qualifications for profit share was quarter 3. For quarter 3, total profit share paid to staff was $39,106. The hourly profit share amount each staff member received was 27.3 cents per hour that they worked in the quarter. For full-time staff who worked 40 hours per week in the quarter, their profit share amount was $142. Next slide. When co-ops have a profit at the end of the fiscal year, they may distribute the owner's share of the profit back to the owners in the form of a patronage refund. These profits are distributed in direct proportion to a co-op owner's patronage or purchases, and is made up of retained patronage equity and store credit. Next slide. We will be distributing $505,600 of our profits back to our owners. $202,240 will be distributed as a store credit that owners will be able to use at the register, and the remaining $303,360 will be held by the co-op as retained patronage equity. We'll be sharing out the details regarding the individual amounts of store credit and the timing of when they will be available at our retail locations in the near future. We're happy to report we had a successful year financially, where we were able to share profits with both our staff and our owners. Next, Ashwini will introduce you to our board candidates.
Thank you, Paige. So the board candidates. We have 7 people running for the board of directors this year. 2 of them are incumbents. The election runs from October 1st to October 22nd. Online and vote by phone ballots will be due at 11:59 p.m. Monday, October 20th. 11:59 p.m. Monday, October 20th. And all paper ballots must be received by 6 p.m. October 22nd, when the board holds its special meeting to receive a tally of the votes. So with that, I would like to, we will go by alphabetical order, except with the exception of Lucas, because he has to run back to the co-op. So I will have Lucas come in, and then we will go alphabetically. So Lucas, please.
Hello, I'm Lucas. Thanks for letting me go first so I can get back to the co-op. running over here from my shift. Yeah, so my name's Lucas. I'm running for the board of directors. I've worked at Willie Street East for about 2 years. I'm running for the board because I think it's important for the board to also have a staff member on it. The bylaws allow for 2 board members to be made up of staff, and I've had a lot of people talk to me, and they're really excited to have some representation in this group. As far as background, I have a background in sustainability and writing. I have a Bachelor of Science in Sustainable Ag and a Bachelor of Arts in Creative Writing and English Lit. I think that this background will help me with some of the goals I have in terms of sustainability, and then just generally being able to communicate and write well for the articles and other communication I would do in my capacity as a board member. Overall, though, I think the most important experience that I'm drawing on is my experience as an employee. Employees spend anywhere from hundreds of hours to thousands of hours in the store every single year, and they have a kind of expertise and a direct communication line with each other to bring a lot of new information to the board that is an important voice to have at the table. So that's why I'm running. I've had a lot of conversations, and there's a lot of excitement around having that representation. Thank you.
My name is James Black. I think my interest in getting involved in the co-op was the 15 years I spent working with credit unions before I became a psychologist. And in that time, I think the focus was on the people who were part of that. And that's the strength of co-ops and the strength of the co-op idea. I was at the Middleton store last week, and I did what I always do, which is empty out the tray of the gluten-free blueberry muffins and take all of them and put them in my cart because they're really good. And there was an employee standing nearby, and she looked at me and she said, "Want some more?" And I thought, first of all, she noticed what was going on despite the fact she was busy, and took the time to kind of ask if I wanted any assistance. And I think that's the focus. There is a lot of food issues and a lot of farming issues and a lot of products, but the real key to a co-op is the employees. They're the ones who hold it together and make everything work. And without that, it doesn't survive, and it doesn't thrive. There's an old saying from Steve Jobs who said, it makes no sense to hire the best people we can find and tell them what to do. They should be telling us what to do. And I think that attitude and the focus on employees is something that I would bring to the board, because I think that's where the success is, and that's what enriches the idea. Thank you.
Hello, co-op owners. My name is Gigi Godwin, and for the past 6 years, I have served on the co-op's board of directors. For the past 2 years, I have been treasurer, and also for the past 2 years, I have chaired the policy committee. And I'm very honored that Anya mentioned in her remarks the work that the policy committee has been doing for the past 2 years, and that has been looking at our policies through the DEI lens. And I am really happy to report that our team has rewritten many of the policies to improve on that language, and those changes were accepted by the board. So I am excited to announce that I am seeking re-election. I decided that I want to run again for another 3-year term, as I have the expertise and enthusiasm to assist the board in continuing all of the excellent work that it does. And I can provide continuity and leadership as we as a board work together to ensure that the co-op succeeds in its mission, vision, purpose, and in its strategic planning for the future. Thank you so very much.
Hi everyone, I'm Christina Hansen. I live just a few blocks away from Willie Street East, and it has become a part of my near daily life, I would say. I'm running because I'm also a pescatarian. So if you don't know what that means, I'm a vegetarian who eats fish. And I think it's really important that people have access to whatever choices they want to make. So whether that's being a pescatarian like me, or supporting local farmers, or eating things that are more seasonable and locally produced so that they support the environment. I think the co-op lets people live out their values by making those choices easier and more accessible. Practically speaking, my background, I'm trained as a scientist, so I moved to Madison to do a PhD in genetics at UW, and now I'm outside of the lab and I work in marketing for biotech and pharma companies. So I'm very used to translating data and hard facts into something that can relate to a wider group of people and making sure that things are communicated properly, but also keeping the human in mind, that all of us, the owners and the community at large. And I think the co-op already does a fantastic job of that. And I'd love to contribute my skills and my passion to help make it sustainable into the future for as long as possible. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anthony Hernandez, and I'm honored to say that I'm a current board member at the Willie Street Co-op, where I've served for the last couple of years, but even before then, I was already working on committees. The actor-activist Jesse Williams says that we should all have a record that we can point to that shows to our commitments. Well, I certainly have a good record at Willie Street Co-op. I've served on all the different committees, including policy, development, diversity. And for me to be in that space, it's kind of a home, a community where we're in kinship, where we have shared values, we're working for a common cause. I frequently go to the Middleton store, but I'm also in the North store a lot. And I enjoy seeing the different people at the different stores in their various positions. People know my name, I know them. It's this sense of familiarity that makes me feel secure in what we're doing in this work. But we're working for a really important mission here. There's almost a moral framing where we think about building community together. We are working to provide high quality food in an affordable way to our regular community of owners, but also those people who haven't had access before. And as I've heard the stories from our vendors, even the farmers, I recognize that this is a tapestry that kind of folds out across Wisconsin and even beyond. So I've worked in a lot of places in the community in Madison on access and equity issues. And working at Willie Street, I feel at home because I feel like it's the same type of emphasis and priority. The spirit that kind of guides my work is kind of summed up by the poet Gwendolyn Brooks, who wrote, "We are each other's harvest, we are each other's business, we are each other's magnitude and bond." And I'd be honored if you elect me again for another term as a board member. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Snow White. Fellow owners, thank you so much for being here tonight. We all appreciate your attendance. First time I came into Willie's East, I walked up and down the aisles and I was like, okay, I found my grocery home. I love all the options, and I love the welcoming atmosphere that I felt being there. I'm very much passionate about sustainability. Everything from, I grew up on a farm, so everything from crop rotation for the land to the way in which the crops get to the market to the packaging that gets into our homes. I think it's important for us to make sure we're considering that. I also think it's important to have healthy food options for everyone. I totally support the local vendors being in the market and everything from food to health and beauty items as well. I hope and want to support Willie's being very much involved in the local community. My past experience, I've been active in boards for close to 30 years. And for the last 15 plus years, I have worked for 2 different companies that analyze grocery retail data. And so I think those 2 combined give me a lot, in addition to my passions, give me a lot of things, good experiences that I can bring to the board. Thank you very much for being here. Please don't forget to vote and keep involved in the local community.
Hey y'all, my name is Ari Chesatori. I moved out here 12 years ago for school and was gonna leave after 3 years, but then found my chosen people. And here I am 12 years ago, or 12 years later, as a farmer and a chef, which is a very Wisconsin story I've heard. I have worked in fine dining restaurants here in Madison, and I am an organic crop farmer and livestock farmer here in Madison as well. You know, I am driven by my purpose in life, which is to feed my community and my loved ones. And, you know, so it is really safe to say that I'm very passionate about what the co-op does. I really love the co-op and all that it does right now. And I really hope to be able to help them achieve more with what they've already done. I also think, you know, now I'm in a time in my life where I have some time to be able to give to this role. And I think it's high time that someone in the food community, our local community here, is represented on the board. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That was a pleasure. It was a pleasure listening to all of the board candidates' statements. And as I mentioned this earlier, as one of the candidates also mentioned it, please don't forget to vote. Earlier on in the meeting, I had mentioned that we had asked owners to ask questions of us at this for the annual meeting, and we had received one question. So I am going to now read that out to you. The question came in, it asks, why does the bakery at each of the 3 stores stock almost entirely sourdough bread? People like me who prefer yeasted bread are out of luck most of the time. Could we possibly have a more even selection? Even 2/3 sourdough to 1/3 yeasted bread would be an improvement. The answer or response comes from Dean Callis, who's the grocery category manager at Willie Street Co-op. I appreciate you mentioning this to us. Artisan sourdough breads are very successful sellers for us historically, so we carry a large selection of them. Brownberry and S. Rosen's both have a fair amount of yeasted breads that might better suit your needs. Another part of our selection is trying to find local bread vendors who are willing to service our accounts. I have not encountered very many over the years, nor do we necessarily have space to add new bread vendors because of our long-term relationships with our current bread vendors. That concludes that Q&A session. And now I will ask Deb Shapiro to come to the podium to announce the prize winners.
Hi, everyone. Do I get a list of the prize winners? Yeah, I need to see. Okay. All right. So this is probably the easiest and most fun job I've had being on the board, is announcing these prize winners. The 4th prize, which is a $25 co-op gift card, goes to Ann Beal. The 3rd prize, a $50 co-op gift card, goes to Lori Gorman. The 2nd prize, a $75 co-op gift card, goes to Steffi Langham. And then the 1st prize, which is a $100 co-op gift card, goes to Judith N. Fowler. And the way these cards are going to work is, you probably remember when you registered for the meeting, you were asked which was your main store. So the card will be set up to work at whatever you designated as your main store. Congratulations, winners. Thanks for staying till the end.
And with that, thank you everyone for joining in. This concludes our annual meeting, and I would now adjourn the meeting. Thank you.